Hello students, welcome to the class of .NET. In the .NET introduction class, we have discussed about .NET architecture, its versions, its characteristics, advantages and disadvantages. We have discussed a little about FCL in the components of .NET framework architecture. Today we are going to have a discussion on FCL in brief. So, in the session, we are going to discuss about FCL functionality, its categories, as well as base class library and namespace. So, first of all, have an idea about frame class library. What is it? The .NET Framework Class Library provides the core functionality of the .NET Framework architecture. It is integrated with the CLR of the .NET Framework and is used by all the .NET languages such as C Sharp, F Sharp, Visual Basic, .NET, etc. FCL includes a huge collection of reusable classes, interfaces, values, types that expedite and optimize the development processes and provides access to system functionality. FCL organized in a hierarchical tree structure and it is divided into namespaces. It provides the consistent base types that are used across all .NET enabled languages. The classes are accessed by namespace which reside within assemblies. FCL classes are managed classes which provide access to system services. FCL classes are object-oriented and easy to use in program development. Moreover, third-party components can also integrate with the classes in the .NET framework. Here, there are the different functions which are supported by FCL. It supports base and user-defined data types, exception handling, input output and stream operations, communication with the underlying system, access to data using databases, ability to create Windows based UI application, ability to create web client and server application, and it supports for creating web services. Here in the diagram, you can able to see the architecture of .NET framework. That is, the core components are CLR and FCL, and the FCL is again categorized into three parts. These are utility features, wrappers around OS functionality, and its framework. These categories are not rigidly defined, and there are many classes that may fit into more than one category. So let's have a discussion on utility features, wrappers around operating system functionality and framework. Utility features. The utility features in the FCL includes various collection classes such as list, stack, queue, dictionary, etc. And also classes for more varied manipulations such as regular expression, that is regex class is used. Wrappers around OS functionality. These features includes the wrappers around the underlying Windows operating system functionality. This includes the classes for using the file system, the classes to handle the network features, and the classes to handle the input-output operations for console programming. That is to develop the console-based applications. Framework. There are various frameworks available in the FCL to develop certain applications. For example, ASP.NET is used to develop web application, WPF is used to render user interface in Windows application, and many more. Now, here the term comes framework-based class library. .NET-based class library is the sub-part of the framework that provides library support to CLR to work properly. It includes the system namespace and core types of the .NET framework. In the diagram, you can able to see different namespaces of framework-based class library. The system is the main namespace of .NET framework. Now, the term comes FCL namespace. Namespace in the framework class library are a group of related classes and interfaces that can be used by all the .NET framework languages. They are different namespace. The table listed below includes the different namespace supported by .NET framework. Accessibility is the first one. Accessibility namespace is a part of the managed wrapper for the COM accessibility interface. Microsoft Activities provides support for Windows Workflow Foundation application. Microsoft.C# has support for compilation and code generation for C# source code. Microsoft.JScript provides support for compilation and code generation for the JScript source code. Microsoft.Visual Basic namespace has support for the compilation and code generation for the Visual Basic source code. System. It is the namespace that has base classes for definitions of interfaces, data types, event handler, attributes, processing exceptions, etc. System namespace contains different sub namespaces such as system.activities, which handles the creation and working with activities in the workflow foundation using various classes. System.collection, which has multiple standard, specialized and generic collection objects that are defined using various types. System configuration that handles the configuration of data using various types. It includes data in machine or application configuration files. System.data namespace accesses and manages data from various sources using different classes. System.drawing namespace handles GDI plus basic graphics functionality. System.globalization handles language, country, calendar, and format patterns for date, which has different classes. System.io supports the input-output like data read and write into streams, data compression, communicate using NIM pipes, etc. System.link LinkQ. It supports the language integrated query for various types. System.media namespace handles sound file and accessing the sounds provided by the system using various classes. So whenever we want to develop an application which supports the sound system, we have to include the system.media in the file. System.net. The system.net namespace provides an interface for network protocols, cache policies for web services, composing and sending emails. System reflection gives a managed view of loaded method, type, fields, etc. It can also be used to create and invoke types dynamically. System.security namespace has the daughter security system and permissions. The child namespace provides authentication with cryptographic services. System.threading allows the concept of implementing the multi-threaded programming using various types. XAML generated namespace has compiler generated types that are not used directly from the code. Next, namespace comes system.data, data.common, data.oldb, data.sql client, data.sql data types. These all namespace are used to access databases which perform different commands on the database to handle the data. System.io, system.io isolated storage and directory services. These are the namespace which are used to access, read and write on the files. System.diagnostic is used to debug and trace the execution of application. System.net and system.net.sockets are used to communicate over the internet when creating peer-to-peer applications. System.windows form and system.windowsform.design. These are the namespace which are used to create Windows-based application using Windows user interface components. And here the system.web, system.web caching, system.web UI, system.web.ui.design, web.ui.web controls, .html controls, .configuration, .web hosting, .web mail, .web session date, These all the namespaces are used to create ASP.NET Web applications that runs over the web. System.web services, web services description, web services configuration, web services discovery, and web services protocols. These are used to create XML web services and components that can be published over the web. And now the term comes namespace with the name security. System.security, security permissions, security policy, security with web supports, security using cryptographic techniques. These all the namespaces are used for authentication, authorization, and encryption purpose in the application. System.xml, XML schema, XML serialization, XML XPath, and XSL. These all the namespaces are used to create and access XML files. So .NET FCL has different namespace, and the root namespace is system, as we say that the namespace follows the hierarchy. So in each and every namespace we can see that system is the root, and other hierarchy are followed by the dot, such as system dot activities, system dot collection, system dot configuration, system dot data, system dot drawing, system dot net, system dot reflection, system dot security, system dot threading, XML generated namespace, system dot data, system dot IO, system dot diagnostic, system dot net, system dot windows, dot forms, and many more. So here we have an idea about different namespace supported by VB.NET. Each namespace are used for their different purposes. We can include any namespace using keyword in our application. So these are the overview of FCL namespace. Thank you class for watching my sessions on framework class library and namespace. We'll come with more topics. Thank you.